I do not own Star Trek, or any of the related characters. Star Trek is a mark owned by Paramount. This story is a work of fanfiction and is for entertainment only. I am not making profit from this story. This is a tribute. All rights of Star Trek belong to Paramount. This fanfiction takes place between the second and third movies of the Kelvinverse.
Star Trek Reloaded, Chapter 11, The Legacy of Prometheus. Spock, the elderly Spock, looked at the torpedo data again and turned to those present.
I am not able to decipher thoroughly what I read. Centuries and centuries of studies and discoveries separate us from this technology. But I think, I'm able to say with some confidence that this device is equipped with a metaphase shield.
Lorem ipsum.
Well, this explains everything. Notby never convinced me with the idea of a force field capable of resisting a star.
Metaphasic?
Yes, Jim.
The ambassador took on a disappointed and alarmed look.
In my time, secret experiments were carried out in this regard, however with disastrous results. In theory, a metaphasic field is able to make the object it contains exist simultaneously on different dimensional planes without physically being actually present in any of them.
The first officer seemed impressed by the idea.
In practice, a ship protected by a metaphase shield would be immaterial, intangible. It would pass through any obstacle like an ectoplasm and would consequently be immune to any hostile action.
As well as capable of crossing a star without damage.
Kirk didn't miss the point.
Since this technology is evidently in use in the 30th century, why did Notby inform us?
I am not at all certain that they are really capable of mastering it.
The elder Spock was peremptory.
It is something too indeterminate and with unpredictable side effects. I suppose also for the Federation of the future.
I don't understand what we have to lose, given that perhaps it is the only hope of our action.
That's right, Chief Engineer, it's the only chance we have.
Notby dramatically joined the council, a phaser leveled at the other participants. -15 minutes.
You took a serious risk, Captain.
The elderly Vulcan's voice was slow and calm.
If you had stayed on the NX-01 we would have already defused that torpedo.
Notby took a few steps back, to ensure a wide line of fire.
Ambassador, I couldn't tell you the truth, for reasons that I think are clear to everyone now, but I assure you that there is nothing else to do.
A metaphase device and an artificial black hole? Are there precedents?
Only pride and rigid mental discipline prevented young Spock's words from revealing an ashen anger.
If you really know how to master these technologies in the 30th century, why hide it from us?
The man of the future sketched a bitter smile.
We master them, partially. Space-time patrols are equipped with a device that is based on multidimensionality. The temporal police could not exist without it.
A device that keeps ships out of the current of time.
More precisely, Mr. Scott, a reactive circuit that comes into operation in the case of rewritings of time, due to a modification of the past. A metaphase mechanism that excludes the ship from the wave of a time formatting in favor of B-time.
Allowing it to continue to exist in any case. Of course, it is logical and necessary.
It's like this, Ambassador.
Notby nodded to the old man.
Although, to be honest, since I have nothing to hide from you now, it is very true that it is an unreliable technology, with a high percentage of failures.
The ambassador looked him in the eyes.
Captain, what does it mean?
Notby seemed to hesitate for a moment.
There have been other crises, although never as serious as this one, and there have been many ships that never returned, at least, we think, not to our dimension.
Forgive me. I don't know if being the captain of this ship, even though it's a pirate vessel, gives me the right to intrude on your pleasant conversation.
Kirk didn't seem to have any reason to contain his anger.
But I want to remind you, time policeman, that you dragged us into an adventure with no return and now, I understand, also without hope. Lower that weapon and step aside.
The captain of the Kobayashi Maru was stopped in his intentions by the first officer's strong arm.
Spock! Get out of my way, damn you.
Gentlemen, I have the phaser at maximum range, obviously set to stun. Your every action will only make you wake up with a big headache.
If we can ever wake up, Captain not be,
said Scott, pointing to the increasingly larger star on a wall monitor.
What will happen when your botched device enters that sun?
Exactly what we predicted, the odds are in our favor.
Not be, I.
A large fluctuation in artificial gravity nipped Commander Kirk's speech in the bud. -9 minutes.
Ah, you were here.
McCoy, standing awkwardly, leaning against a bulkhead, turned to the men, and Vulcans, who were slowly rising from the floor. The first officer had not missed the opportunity and not be lay unconscious, victim of the Vulcan grip.
While you were having fun, a dozen ships did they? Well, materialized out of nowhere and started shooting at us. Maybe it's time to go to the bridge.
Nobody listened to the whole sentence. Everyone ran to their seats. Kirk stormed onto the command bridge like a fury.
See you after the explanations about our absence. Situation, Sulu.
Romulan ships, indefinite number, constantly appearing and disappearing.
It's their tactic, the one they used during the war.
Kirk was already in his command post.
They compensate for poor speed and maneuverability. Chekhov, damage and route?
Only one der CT fit, low power energy weapon, no serious damage. We have full shields and are proceeding towards the target at mid-pulse. 7 minutes until torpedo firing.
Can we evade them, sir? Or do you want us to attack?
Sulu, avoid them. We are not here to start a war.
Jim, we probably already did this.
The elder Spock said, sitting wearily at the science console.
Don't underestimate them. In that war they didn't have energy weapons at our level. But they tried to compensate with very high-power thermonuclear devices that could be extremely harmful to us.
The problem, Ambassador, is what to do with that torpedo.
Kirk looked at those present, one after the other.
I would like to have time to ask your opinion. I would like to be able to decide what to do with your support. But I can't. We have come this far, denying everything in the name of the future. And now I'm not even remotely sure I'm doing the right thing.
Captain,
was the first officer.
Scott reports that it is impossible to defuse the torpedo in time. We should try to destroy it.
No.
Staggering, almost dragging himself on his legs, Notby had also arrived on the bridge.
Captain Kirk, Spock, you Spocks, you can't do it. Every action, every attempt will only detonate it and we would all die without purpose. You must listen to me or the Federation and the entire quadrant will collapse into chaos.
Notby, just tell me one thing.
The ambassador, speaking, got up from his position.
When your ship was hit by the formatting wave, are you certain that re-emerged in your original dimension of time?
The man of the future seemed to freeze then. Shaking his head slightly, he replied,
Yes, reasonably safe as one can be when talking about time and dimensions, but I don't understand the reason for this question. The future I saw, it's yours anyway and I'm here to avoid it.
Are you certain that Nero's arrival has marked our future?
The formatting wave can only have arisen from that event.
We're 1 minute away from launch.
Chekhov's voice interrupted the conversation.
What should we do, sir, if I block the launch chamber?
It wouldn't be useful,
said Notby sadly.
As soon as it is activated it enters metaphase. It would cross the ship, incorporeal, up to the objective.
Captain Kirk, let's destroy this device and get it over with.
The chief engineer's voice thundered powerfully over the intercom.
I can do it for a few more seconds.
Let it go, Scotty.
0. The agile Kobayashi practically ignored the swarm of hostile ships that were trying in vain to frame her. The torpedo, invisible to any detection, left the hold and, a few seconds later, arrived in the star's core,